Hey everyone, it's Cory and Mayo with Oceans Atlantic Sotheby's, located right here in Coastal Delaware, and this is a new episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about builders, the difference between them, and trying to figure out which one may be the right one for you. So the common question that I'm typically asked when we get to this question, which would be builder, is who's the best builder that someone should use? And my normal question is, I think that every builder is the best. I think that each builder has their strengths, and the key is to align that builder's strengths with the client's needs. And an example of that would be if someone has let's just say a budget of $300,000 to $400,000, and there's an amazing custom builder that builds the best home that we've ever seen in the world, but their budget is typically multi-million-dollar homes, that doesn't align, so they would no longer be a good builder for that client. So we really need to make sure that we're taking the strengths of a builder and applying that and aligning it with our client's needs. So the first big group of builders would be the national builders. That would be similar to groups like Ryan Homes or Lennar, D.R. Horton, K. Hovnanian. These are builders who build either nationwide or in very large geographic areas. They have floor plans that they are able to borrow from other geographic areas and apply them to a new market that they decide to start building in. And they have some really great floor plans that have been refined for usability for the client. The one problem that typically a large national builder has is it is hard to steer the ship. And what I mean by that is when building code changes, or if there are some new techniques that maybe aren't required by law to do, but it's now beneficial for our geographic area, being here by the water, being in this type of client, they have a hard time steering that ship quickly in order to change. So let's just say, for example, exterior walls being framed with 2x6 versus 2x4. If they're building homes all over the country, they can't just change that to be 2x6. It's too big of a ship, so it takes a lot of time in order for them to catch up. So that would definitely be one of the drawbacks, would be the ability to steer the ship quickly, to make changes fast. One of the advantages is, typically because they are so big, they tend to have a little bit better price point. But again, we just need to make sure that we're aligning always. Are their strengths aligning with the client's needs? So the next group of builders would be your regional production builders. And when we talk about production builders, basically what a production builder is someone that has floor plans that have been kind of fine-tuned, and you pick a home site, you pick a floor plan, you put that floor plan on that home site, and they build that home. If there's a wall in particular that you would want moved over 6 inches, they do not have the ability and flexibility to do that. So we pick out the floor plan, and then if you want to add structural options, say like a second floor onto the home, or a screen and porch, or a sunroom, or finish off a unfinished storage space, they have the ability to do things like that, but these are going to be, for lack of better terms, different blocks that you can add on or subtract from. You can't change the size of the predetermined blocks, is the best way of describing that. It doesn't mean that the homes are going to feel like a cardboard box. They're going to be beautiful, custom look and feeling homes. Everything's just going to be kind of predetermined. Obviously, you do have the ability, when you go through selections, you can pick your colors and textures and finishes that you're looking for, but the overall structure of the home has already been determined by the builder. Now, being a regional builder, they tend to have the ability, from not necessarily the structural shape of the home, but from the build quality and building features of the home, they are more specific to this area. So a lot of the regional builders, for example, are building their homes, exterior walls out of 2x6 construction. I can go into detail all the advantages and disadvantages of 2x6 versus 2x4, but it's just something that typically lends itself to being a regional builder. They are smaller than, say, a national builder, so they have the ability to steer the ship very quickly because they're only building here in coastal Delaware or maybe in one other region, but typically they're focusing on here. So a lot of the energy efficiencies are going to be all geared around trying to make a home that is as energy efficient or build quality as high as they can for this specific area, while also trying to maintain cost by doing production build. So that would be what a regional production builder would be here in coastal Delaware. So the next group of builders are going to be semi-custom home builders. Semi-custom home builders in general are going to be very localized, and they're going to have, in a lot of cases, predetermined floor plans, but have the ability to make adjustments to them. Not adjustments like what I spoke to previously about a regional production builder as far as adding or subtracting blocks. They'll have the ability to physically do things like moving walls or changing the shape of rooms. The problem comes in when we start to change the shape or change where the layout of structural features of the home are, is that we then need to get involved with engineering, and we need to get involved with permitting with the county. The problem when we get into permitting with the county is obviously there's additional time. When we get into dealing with architects, there's additional money. So that is definitely for someone who's looking for something that has the overall feel and they want to make small changes. A semi-custom builder might be one that fits a particular client. But again, these are things that we all need to look into and see, well, that's great, but do we want to pay for the money or deal with the additional time of going that direction? So last but not least, and there's no shortage of custom home builders. Typically custom home builders are going to be very small. They're not going to be doing a huge number of homes a year, and that is because they are spending lots and lots of time focusing on each particular house. Every single detail when you go into a custom home, a client gets to have a discussion with the custom builder and talk over that fit, that finish, that placement, that every single part of the home the client has input on. So it's great, it's wonderful for someone who has the time and money to do so. Obviously, the more changes that we make, the more time, the more money. We also have to deal with a lot of getting things set with the architect and then submitting permits and the whole 9 yards. So it does take substantially longer, and a lot of times, we do deal with much higher costs associated with it. But for someone who that's what they're looking for, that is a great thing to consider. The other thing also is a lot of times when people are looking for a custom home, they want it to be placed in a very custom home setting. So we have to look into home sites and do those home sites fit the home. If it's too remote and there's going to be septic involved, with the size of the leaching fields and all the things that need to be taken into consideration when we're dealing with custom home, it's all very custom. So those are things that really need to be thought about. There are some custom builders that do a fantastic job of really kind of keeping the reins in and the project management of the build. There's others that maybe they're newer or they just don't have the infrastructure of their business in place, and it tends to be a little bit more willy-nilly and can be frustrating to a client. So definitely having those discussions, interviewing lots of custom builders. If you're a client who's considering custom building, I would definitely recommend interviewing many builders to find the one that fits you, that fits the style home that you're looking for, and kind of going from there. All right, so that was our brief overview of builders that are here in coastal Delaware. Again, we went over our national production builders, our regional production builders, our semi-custom, and our full custom home builders. Again, they're all great. And the most important thing is to interview and talk with clients to find what the needs are that they really want, from a financial to features to layout to the whole 9 yards, the lifestyle that they're looking to build here in coastal Delaware, and applying that to a builder's strengths. At that point, if you do that properly, then you always have the best builder, because we're just aligning needs and strengths. So again, my name is Cory Mayo with Oceans Atlantic Sotheby's, located right here in coastal Delaware. I specialize in coastal Delaware real estate, new construction, and client relocation. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to give me a call at 302-466-5511. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.